Okay guys, quick update with Bitcoin. Just want to give you key levels and just basically just go over what I'm expecting. We're going to cover gold and silver in this video as well. If you watched the last video, I'll put a link up to it now. I made it very clear. I was in a long. I set my stop loss and profit. I told you, look, if we did push up, point short 118,000, so I set my stop loss below. I did get stopped out on that long, but I was in profit. And I did make a post in Discord that, because we dropped back down, I said this would be a no trade zone until we either break above a certain point or get a daily open below 109,400. And that is what I waited for, and I'll show you that trade. I'm in profit currently. And again, that is right here. See 109,000. As soon as we broke below 109,000, see that wick that came back up? So that was a point to go short. We did find support here, but that's the point of these charts. We have confluence across multiple charts. So that was a point to open a scalp long, a hedge long, or take profit on a short if you use high leverage. Right here, this is in Discord. This is what I was talking about. We wicked below, but still holding. Watch for any daily opens below that point. Notice we have not, as of yet, we've not had any. So I was referring to this line right here. And that's what I was saying. Until we get a break above yellow line on C1 or break below line on chart in previous post, entering any trade here is risky, in my opinion. And I was talking about this line here. As soon as we get a daily open above, a daily open below, that means we're headed down. So key support broke. Looks like we definitely broke the wedge. And this is what I was talking about. In the next 40 minutes, we'll be getting our first daily open below that white line since June. This was June. This is the first time I had a daily open. All these are wicks above. Even this wick right here, wicked above. So we're about to get a daily open below. So when price pushes back up, that would be resistance to short. And that's how it played out. And I said, so it begins. And then I entered my trade. I am currently, I was up 6,000. You can see we caught a bounce here. So I'm probably going to lower my stop loss. We'll see how this plays out. But again, I'm going to give you levels, and we're going to cover, like I said, gold and silver. And again, this is, I went a little heavy on this one. I went 3,000 margin at 50x. Like I said, I was up over 6,000. It pushed up to 105,600. Now I'm currently up $3,886. Guys, if you want to get leverage trading, CoinCash is a great option. The KYC, no VPN. This is a specials page. I'll put a link up to it now. 14 days left if you want to sign up, get access to this bonus and specials. If you deposit $1,000, you get $5,000 back, 30 slots every 7 days. Deposit $500, you can get $1,250 back, 300 slots every 7 days. You can also get free access to my charts and Discord, and you get trading bonuses. So if you get over a certain amount of trading volume, you'll get additional bonuses on top of your deposit bonus. You'll need to use my referral link. I'll put a link up to that now. Once you use my referral link, then you click join. Again, all these will be pinned in the first comment and description. If you want to learn how to trade on CoinCash, guys, this is a video I put up just going over all the tools I use. The difference between limit order, market price, cross, isolated, just a lot of tools you need to know about. So if you want to do a hedge and just trigger order versus limit order, just explain all the tools and how I use them, and especially being able to enter a trade with the stop before you enter the trade. So I explain all that stuff. So if you want to learn how to trade on CoinCash, give this video now if you want to check it out. And of course, guys, you want to get access to my website. I get access to the live charts and Discord. If you want to sign up, this is a website. I'll link up to it now. If you do sign up, make sure you email me through the contact page for Discord invite link. Can't pay with USDT, but you need to email me through the website, and do have tutorials teaching my charting method. So we'll come back to this chart in a bit. Again, I'm expecting things to get really bad. I made a video a while back talking about when gold pushes up, that's a sign that something bad is about to happen. We'll come back to this chart in just a minute. So let's cover a few things here. So now I made a post in Discord about this too, and this is the purpose of having multiple charts charted different ways. So I made a post about this as well. So watch, and actually in the last video I mentioned this too. Watch for a daily open below. So you might want to add to your long around 113,190. But if we get a daily open up below this, that would be a sign that we have much lower to go. And notice that we did wick below this line a bit. This is near the center of the bottom Bollinger Band on the daily. But notice we held support around 104,862. Well, multiple charts showed that as support. But again, as I said, because we broke below this 109,334, again, I think it's game over and we have a lot more downside. As you can see, confluence across charts. Just want to show you this. So your current support right now, where we got a bounce, is right at 103,372. And now your current resistance is right around 106,337. So I might put my stop above that point. And if we get rejected there, then I'll add to my short. Your next support level below is going to be around 99,800. That'll be interesting. So keep that in mind. If we break 103,372, we're going to be breaking below 100. And you can tell that because this is your next key support level right here. You can see how well price has been respecting that line. So that's your next support level. Again, we can you imagine that breaking below 100,000 after all this time. So again, that is a target to pay attention to. Like I said, I think we've already, once we broke 109,334, that was it. We've already broken down from that wedge. And again, I will continue making videos where we give you points to scalp longs and scalp shorts, but it's as long as we stay below 109,300, like I said, I think we have a lot more downside. Let me go to the next chart. So this was talking about confluence. So again, your main resistance level on the D1 chart is around 113,000. You see 104,862. Well, once that breaks, so daily open, then we're headed down to that target I showed you in the other chart. This is that rising wedge I was talking about. And in the previous video, I showed you this parallel channel. And I said if we pushed up, pay attention to, possibly if we pushed up, we didn't push that high. We got stopped out, or I'm sorry, we price stopped around the top. The central Bollinger Band on the daily. But that was around, 117,000, 118,000. We didn't make it up to that point, but we did break this line, and we, again, so as far as I'm concerned, we broke out of this rising wedge, which means we have a lot of downside, but there will be pumps along the way. That's the point of these charts, guys. But as you can see, when we held support on this line right here on the H1 chart. This is on the hourly. Notice we pushed up as resistance right at 114,261, point to go short. And notice we found support. Again, this is why I have multiple charts charted different ways. So look, the H1 chart, we had support at 104,441. Even the C1 chart. And this is what I was talking about in that Discord post where I said, wait and see if we get a break above the yellow line, right, on C1, or a break below 109,000. And again, you can see we pushed up to this blue line. I'll outline it here so you know what I'm talking about. We pushed up to this point. That was a point to go short. That's why I went short. But notice, again, all the confluence here. So the C1 chart, 105,000. You've got the H1 chart, 104,400. You've got this chart, the D1 chart, 104,862. And you've got this macro trend daily chart. So when you have, again, there wasn't a lot of confluence from 106,337, but there was a lot of confluence from 103,333. So now we know how important of a level that is, and you can see we caught a bounce at this point. So that is the level you're currently watching. So if you long from that point, hold your long, keep your stop below. I'm going to hold my short as long as you're below 109,334. And again, I'll make videos and go along and keep updating you as price moves along. Because even if price crashes, we're going to get bounces on the way down. Again, that's what I do. I try to find these points for you to long and short. Now, I do want to cover gold real quick and silver. Let's go on. So you have your levels, guys. Just keep, like I said, if we break below 103,000, the next area to catch the bounce will be around 99,800. But I did want to point out, now keep in mind, I made a post, or actually the last video, the one I just referenced in the beginning of this video, I talked about gold. I said gold is going to be up around 4,470 if we get a daily open. This is about 12 minutes, 50 seconds into what I was covering gold. I said if we wick back down below and get a daily open, then this was a fake out, probably have more downside. But if we get a daily open above 4,470, then your next upside target is close to around 4,470. And you can see we got a daily open above and we pushed up. Now gold is getting a rejection. We got topped out at 4,377. Gold is now at 4,237. Guys, retail is jumping in like crazy on gold right now. And usually that's when the tops end, is when retail people in Discord are posting where people are standing in line trying to buy gold bars, and it's just ridiculous. They're buying gold at the top, And big players are going to start selling the gold, and they're going to be left holding these bags. Now, I know gold's pushing up. We could go higher, but I I think it's crazy to buy gold at these prices right now. You see how much gold is coming down. Also made a post about silver. I have a silver chart, and you can see here it says 55 looks to be a key resistance level for silver. You can see this white line. I'll show you the chart around 55 bucks basically. And you can see why this line is so important. This is just a fib channel line. I just have it outlined in white, but you can see it was support through here, resistance here, resistance here. We came back up and just tested it again, and you can see we're getting a nice drop with silver from that point. You know, roughly around, and we pushed up to 54.4, but that is a key resistance level. So as far as silver, silver, if we push above 54.7, well, the next resistance level I have is up around 64, but we're getting a strong rejection there, and your next support level, well, your most key support level, you can see this has been a lot of resistance. So that would be around $44.56. But guys, I'm just saying, when gold and silver is starting to go parabolic, I made a video about this. This is a sign that something is about to happen, and I mean something as in bad for the markets. And we do know this for a fact. When the markets dropped last time or the previous times, and I showed you this, gold and silver crashes, Bitcoin crashes, even the US dollar crashes for a bit, but it's the first one to recover. So this is what I'm looking at, guys. This is what it all boils down to. You know, I've talked about this chart, and I'm just going to break it down. This right here, this price action right here, this was a dot-com bubble. This is back in 2000. And we had a drop from the top about 37.74%. Again, dot-com bubble. When we crossed this red ring right here, right? This was the global financial crisis. That was 2007, 2008, right? This right here, notice where price topped out here, just kind of like it did back here, and then started moving down to this yellow ring. That was when we had high inflation and rate hikes, and price dropped down a total of a little over 22%. Then we started pushing up. Well, we've already crossed. Now I have this right here is just ghosted. These are just bars from from the GFC, and I put over and adjusted to the. This was a little larger ring, so I adjusted it to match this one. So I believe, and you can see we've already crossed that red ring. So I believe the next bubble will be the AI bubble. When that pops, there's so much money in these companies that are way over invested in AI, and the revenue actually is not that much for these companies. They're way overvalued. So I think that's the next bubble to pop. There's a lot of other things. The car market, there's so many repos. People are, I mean, just do some research, guys. People have credit card debt. They don't have their savings. People can't afford their mortgage. Things are really bad in the economy. And pretty soon, again, like I said, when gold is pushing up like crazy and retail is buying gold at the top, that's a signal, guys. Retail is going nuts. You know, once it hit this point, retail went crazy buying gold. And you can see gold starting to drop now. Your next support level is going to be, for gold, it's going to be around 4,083. If that holds, we'll catch a nice bounce. If that breaks, well, your next support level for gold is all the way down here around 3,800. Again, that's a higher level as time goes on. But you can also see that, you know, silver got a strong rejection. So, you know, everybody's going crazy buying silver, buying the top. And if I'm correct, and this plays out, guys, when we had our COVID crash, you know, back here, when the Dow dropped around 38%, Bitcoin dropped 65%. So imagine, as high as price is right now, if we have a 50% drop with the Dow, the NASDAQ, the S&P, it's going to be more than a 65% drop for Bitcoin, and it's going to be worse for altcoins. So, you know, this might take a little time to play out, but I think the markets are pretty much topped. And I told you that I think the cycle top was in for Bitcoin, and you can see prices coming down. But again, pay attention to those levels. Again, every video I put out, I show you what to do, and then I tell you how it played out the following video. So again, pay attention to around 103,334. 104,800. Again, 104,400. That's your most key level right now. If that holds, we could push back up to resistance. But if that breaks, again, we're headed down to, we'll be breaking below 100K. And again, I'm going to hold this short. I'm currently up now. I'm up $4,342. Again, I can lower my stop loss, right? So if price pushes up, I'll make my profit, but I'll get stopped out. If price continues, if it pushes up, I don't want to get stopped out. That's why this right here would be your resistance, right? This is on CoinCatch, by the way. This would be your support. So we could push up to 107,000, something like that. If I had my stop here, I might get stopped out, but we get rejected and come back down. So that's why I'm keeping my stop a little higher. Depends on what price does. But, I'll just add to my short. And sometimes when I add more margin, if I add more margin to my short, and you have a lot of profit, guys, sometimes it's good just to take your damn profit. And the reason for that is because they can send price back up, stop you out, you lose out on all that profit. But if you take the profit, the money is yours. It's in your account. You can use that to trade later, and there's always other points to jump in. Like I said, we have plenty of points to long and short on the way down. If you want to hold your short all the way down, that's fine. But it's never a bad idea to take profit, guys, because we're going to find bounces. If we break 103,000, we will catch it. If we break below 103,300, we will catch a bounce around 99,800. We can just bring this out for further confluence. You can see when you connect these wicks, again, that gives you a target around 99,900. So again, we have levels to play, but I just want to show you that we have broken a key support level. I mentioned this in that previous video. Again, that is your most critical level right now, and we've already broken down from that rising wedge. And again, as I said, if this gets bad, your target is going to be the 300-week moving average right here. This is, you can see right here, 300-week moving average, this green moving average. And right now, that price is sitting around 45,000. Obviously, this can kind of move out and sideways as price moves down. So we keep looking, dropping all the way down to 48,000, maybe $50,000. And if things get really bad, like I said, we have a major stock market crash. Well, as I've covered in previous videos, this would be your first support level, this yellow line here, and confluence between the bottom part where we pushed up. Not saying we have to drop that far. Your first point to pay attention will be the 300-week moving average. As long as that holds, well, go long. If that becomes resistance, well, we're headed down to these lower targets. But I will keep you updated as price moves along so we can find those points to scalp. But it does look like we've broken, again, as I mentioned before, these cycles. I'm not just using a Bitcoin chart. Every time we cross this ring, expect a major drop. We dropped all the way down. We dropped a total of 77.8, almost 78%. Well, we just crossed that red ring, and you see we broke down from that rising wedge. So just from the top down to the 300-week moving average is around 61%. If we drop down to the target of this support level down below, that's a target of around 82%. So don't think it can't happen, because this was over a 70% drop right here. But the point of this video is we did break down from that rising wedge. We did cross this ring, which I told you was an indicator that we have some downside. And in addition, I have this chart here which shows the next bubble is about to pop. And guys, when gold is pushing up like it is and silver is pushing up like it is, that means something's wrong with the economy, something's broken. And when retail is buying, that's when institutions dump on retail. You can see gold is already dropping, and you can see that silver is dropping as well. So just be careful, guys. I will keep you updated. Again, if you want to sign up to CoinCatch, again, only 14 days left for this event. I'll have this link to pin in the first comment description. Guys, that's it. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.